Hello everyone, I am Mr. David, also known as the Chem Guy, and today we are looking at molar volume of gases. Okay, molar volume of gases. Definition: the volume occupied by one mole of a gas at standard conditions of temperature and pressure is 22.4 dm cube or 22,400 centimeter cube. So, as a chemistry student, you should have this at the back of your mind that one mole of any gas at STP is equals to 22.4 dm cube or 22,400 centimeter cube. All right, let's look at a few examples. Number one, calculate the volume occupied by 3.2 gram of oxygen at STP, given that oxygen equals to 16. Now, the first thing is that to know that oxygen gas is a diatomic molecule. So we are going to represent oxygen as O2. So let's calculate the molar mass of oxygen. So molar mass of oxygen is 16. All right, we are giving 16 here times what? Times 2 because it's diatomic. All right, so that will be 32 gram per mole. So unit of molar mass is 32 gram per mole. Okay, now the next line of action, we are going to find the number of mole. Number of mole. So how do we find the number of mole? So we now say number of mole, which is this letter n equals to mass over what? Molar mass. Now the mass given is what? 32 gram. I mean 3.2 gram over the molar mass is what? 32 gram per mole. So this divided by this will give you 0.1. Or write it here equals to 0.1 mole. Okay. Now, what are we doing next? So, this is where we now apply this principle that is one mole of any gas at STP occupies 22.4 dm cube. So, we now say one mole is equals to what? 22.4 dm cube. That is, one mole of any gas occupies 22.4 dm cube. So, if you now have 0.1 mole, how many will it give you? So you cross multiply. So by the time you make cross multiply and make S of the formula, you have x equals to 0.1 mole times 22.4 dm cube all over 1 mole. So yeah, mole takes care of mole. So the answer will be, that means x equals to 0.1 times 22.4 will give you 2.24 dm cube. So the answer is 2.24 dm cube. Now we also have another way you can solve this problem. So like we are say alternative. We have another way at which you can solve by which you can solve this problem. So how do we solve it now? Now you don't in this method you don't have to actually look for the number of mole because we say that one mole of any gas at STP occupies 22.4 dm cube. So if I say mole, that means the molar mass of that substance also occupies 22.4 at STP. So that means I'll just come here and write what's the molar mass of oxygen now? 32 gram. I'll just say 32 gram per mole is equals to we occupy what? 22.4 dm cube at STP. 22.4 dm cube at STP. Now, how many mass were you given here? 23.2. So we now say the 3.2 gram we occupy what? X. But you don't have to put per mole here because we've already converted it to you've converted this to gram already. Okay, so you can just strike this one out. So you left the 32 gram over 32 gram equals 22.4 dm cube. Then 3.2 gram equals to x. So by the time you make S job formula, you are going to have 3.2 gram times 22.4 dm cube over 32 gram. So by the time you do your calculation also, you are going to get, if you just, look at this, if you just bracket this out, this calculation out, it's like doing mass over molar mass again. So the answer will just give you 2.24 dm cube. Okay. Now let's look at another example. Yeah, example 2. What is the volume in centimeter cube of 2.2 gram of CO2 at STP? That is, we are also looking for volume of 2.2 gram of CO2 at STP. Now, the first thing is we'll find molar mass of CO2. Molar mass of CO2, molar mass of CO2 is equals to, carbon is 12, carbon is 12 here, and oxygen is 16, so 16 to bracket 2. So that will give you 44 gram per mole. So like I said earlier on, the unit of molar mass is 44 gram. Sorry, the unit of molar mass is gram per mole. So now the next line of action is to find the number of mole. So we do number of mole equals to mass over what? Molar mass. So our mass here is 2.2 gram. Then our molar mass is what? 44. So doing this will give you 0.05 mole. Alright, 0.05 mole. Now the next line of action is to compare. That is 1 mole, but in this case you are asked to look for centimeter cube. So you now say 1 mole equals to 22,400 centimeter cube. Now 0.05 mole will be equals to what? To x. Alright, so you cross multiply and make s the formula. So that makes x equals to 22,400 centimeter cube times 0.05 mole over all over 1 mole. So mole takes care of mole. So the answer is 1,120 centimeter cube. 1,120 centimeter cube. So there's another way of solving this. That is the alternative method. The alternative method. Alternative. There's another method we can use. So why, if you don't want to go through this process, you can also calculate it. Now, since you know that 1 mole of any gas occupies 22,400 centimeter cube at STP, so you just take the molar mass of that gas. Now the gas is CO2, so you just say 44 gram, so is equals to 22,400 centimeter cube. Now, what was the mass you are giving now? 2.2 grams. So you just say 2.2 gram equals to what? X. So you make S the subject of formula. That is, X will be what? 2.2 gram times 22,400 centimeter cube over 44 gram. Now, if you look at it, this side alone, if you just look at this side alone, it's looking like mass over molar mass times volume. All right. So almost the same thing as number of mole. So that x will be equals to, the answer will be what? 1,120 centimeter cube. Okay. Thank you.